Hi guys, my awakening began with memories of my past lives. So let's talk about it. I will begin my story with a short introduction. I used to live in Kazakhstan. I had an ordinary life, an ordinary job, but I had previous of depression. At some point I decided that I had to do something about it. But what exactly I didn't know. By the way, this story is a refined version of the previous story named My Spiritual Journey Part 0. It is available on YouTube, also available on my blog, which is called Brave Soul Home Blog. So, back to the story. I didn't need to wait too long for the changes, they were shaping my life. I quit my job and moved to Egypt. It was very difficult there. I was at the bottom of my life. I wanted to die, to be honest. I must say that I didn't try to commit suicide. But one evening, when I was crying and asked God or something almighty from above to take me back, because I felt that it would be much easier and better for me up there than here. At that moment, for the first time in my life, I heard a clear thought in my head, and I realized that this thought came not from me. This thought, or rather the voice, told me, "Your time hasn't come yet. You have things to do over there." It affected me greatly in a positive sense because after that I promised myself that I would be happy despite all the hardships I had been going through. I promised myself that I would be happy by having only what I had or and won't because I wanted my happiness to depend on me. I moved to Turkey where my awakening preparation began. In general, awakening itself is not a stage that needs to be passed, so you should not expect that you can awaken in a moment. It's rather like a process which continues throughout our life. It is a process in which our mind, our consciousness expand and evolve. I had been reconsidering my attitude towards life, my behavior in certain situations, and with people in general. After all, we humans usually act automatically in certain situations. We seem to have some kind of behavior patterns. In certain situations, we usually act the same way, but for some reasons expect a different result. To change our behavior, actions, we need to change the way we think. Because first thought arises, and according to our thoughts, we act in one way or the other way. I realized that those situations, those problems I had in my life, I created them myself or and allowed them to happen. Of course, there are situations that are beyond our control. But let's talk about those that depend on our behavior and on our thoughts. In other words, things happen in our lives not because something is written somewhere. It means I have control over my life to some extent. Plus, coupled with the fact that my happiness depends on me and on what I have within me, give me some peace of mind. I want to know that I have never practiced meditation, yoga, and had no idea about the chakras earlier. I had I heard some people are awakened, but it all seemed not for me and not about me. In general, it seemed to me that this is something supernatural which has nothing to do with our real physical life. One morning, I woke up and felt a pulsation in the area of the seventh chakra. It felt like a wave of energy, and it seemed to me that if I can direct this energy higher up to my brain, having received this energy, could redirect it to my entire body, enabling my whole body to relax. I wanted to be relaxed and uninhibited. Since I am introvert and had a lot of complexes, the idea of being more relaxed and uninhibited attracted me. At that moment, I was lying down. My body was relaxed. My mind was clear. I wasn't thinking about what I had to do or what I hadn't done. My eyes were closed. My sight shifted towards the third eye area. That is just above the eyes by 30 degrees. This helps to tune into the face, which is as transit between our physical world and higher realms. At that moment, I didn't know about all of it. I had done it intuitively or instinctively, or maybe my spiritual guides helped me to do that. At that moment, I was not aware of it. If now I will try to do the same, it is unlikely that I will succeed. So at some point, I reached a phase like trance. I didn't feel my body. When we talk about the mind, it is necessary to distinguish three components of it. There are conscious mind, subconscious mind, and unconscious mind. For example, nowadays, when I meditate, I mostly connect to my subconscious mind. At that moment, I guess I connected to my unconscious mind because I had seen my past lives. Let's summarize. I was laying down in a comfortable position. My gaze was turned inward. It was like if something clicked in my head and I was shut down. I didn't feel my body. I had no thoughts in my head. I had been focused on my inner sensations. I was carried away somewhere as I started seeing what was happening outside my window. I saw a tree, birds, clouds. Then I felt like Alice in Wonderland falling down the rabbit hole or flying through space. The following was like if my past lives had been shown to me, just like a video frame by frame. I had seen the key moments from my past lives. In total, I had seen 5 lives. 2 lives were from this planet, the other 2 from other planets. The fifth life was also on this planet. I had seen my current life when I was an embryo in my mother's womb. It felt like these lives were shown to me to let me know, to remind me who I am, what I am, and what I am doing here. That was my starting point of awakening. To be more precise, it was preparation for awakening. The awakening process itself began a year later. Generally, it is said that awakening consists of 2 phases. One of them is personal awakening, the other one is awakening of all humanity. Because we humans are all interconnected, we are one. Specifically, about my past lives, I will tell you in the next video, since this video turned out to be quite long, and I don't want to bore you with the long stories. So, see you the next time. Bye bye. If you like the video, share it and subscribe to the channel. See you in the next one. Bye bye.